Okay, I think I got the hang of this thing now. Okay, so like I said, I went to Emerald for the first part of my global competency project, and as everyone knows, Emerald stands for Multiracial Unity Living Experience. And I chose Emerald because um, I knew it would be a good opportunity for me to interact and meet um, people of different cultures and people with different opinions and beliefs than my own, and um, so yeah. So, like I said, we talked a lot about bills at this meeting. Like, for example, the farm bill that President Obama had recently come to MSU to sign, and we talked about a couple other bills. And what I learned about other people through this experience is that people have really different opinions. And I not only did I learn a lot about that, but I also learned how, like, emotionally other people can react to other people's opinions. And I mean, there were people who had arguments, there were people who had agreements, and through that I learned, the good and the bad from all these different bills. And like, for example, people said that the farm bill was good because it helped people in the SNAP program to get the food that they need, and other people said it was bad because it hurt, like, it was damaging to healthier farms and mom and pop businesses. And it made me think that this really affects it it affects people very differently according to, like, where they come from or, like, who they are as a person. And um yeah. So I learned that people really care about what's going on in the world, and I was surprised at how informed people were and how much they actually pay attention to what's going on in the world. So I guess it opened up my mind a little bit. Um, a few things I learned about myself. Well, for sure, one thing I learned about myself is, like, I really don't know that much, because everyone kept talking about all their different opinions and of the farm bills and what's going on in the world, and I didn't even know what the farm bill was about, and it just made me realize that um there's so much going on in the world that I probably don't know about, and um so maybe I should stop making, like, assumptions and judgments about things unless I know, like, everything about them. And I'm sure a lot of people should feel the same way. So, also, I learned that I should definitely keep an open mind because there's good and bad to everything. And if I'm truly uninformed about something, then I shouldn't stick to my former beliefs about it, because until I know the full story, I can't really have, an opinion. So I learned that about myself. So for implications in the classroom, from a global perspective, um, I would definitely tell my students, like, when we're learning about issues going on in the world or things that are taking place, that everyone is welcome to their own opinion, and everybody has very different opinions according to, who they are as a person, or what their culture is, or how that person grew up. So, I would tell my students that it's very important, like I learned, to keep an open mind so that you can pay attention and you can learn all those different opinions, so that you can learn all the good and the bad that go along with certain things. So I would tell them that that's the only way that they would be able to form a proper opinion about something, because until they know everything that goes along with something or the full story behind something, then they don't truly know how how to form an opinion about it. So I would tell them to make sure that they listen to other people's opinions and keep an open mind. So, like I said, for the second part of my global competency project, I went and ate dinner with my friend, now friend, Emmanuel. And I met Emmanuel through our mutual friend Adam. And I had met him prior to our dinner because Adam and I and some other friends had dinner with him once. He sat at the same table as us, and he, participated in our discussions, our conversations. But I didn't really know him as a person, so I thought it would be good. It would be it would fit this project nicely. So I texted him and I said, "Hey, my name's Jenny. I don't know if you remember me or not, but um, we're both friends with Adam, and we've eaten together before, so I was wondering if you want to get dinner sometime," and he agreed, so yeah. Okay, I definitely learned a lot about other people through my experience eating with Emmanuel. For starters, uh, well, I'd say that he and I, we were mutual in our learning, our education about different cultures, because we both learned a lot and we both didn't know a lot about each other's cultures. Like, for example, the way that people communicate and the words that they use in his culture. Like, for example, the word love in his culture is rarely used because it's saved for, like, when you genuinely love something. So if you, like, here in America, we throw the word love around like it's no big deal. We'll say, I love these shoes, I love these clothes, I love my friends, stuff like that. But, and we also use it for when we genuinely love something. Like, if you want to say, like, I love you to your family or your friends or your significant other, like, we also use it when we genuinely mean it. But it's thrown around a lot. And he said in Latin America, they don't ever use that word. They rarely ever use it. If they want to say they love something, like they love this sport or they love clothes or something like that, they'll say me encanta. Or if they want to say, like, I love you, not like genuinely love you, but if they want to say, like, I love you to a friend or something, they'll say te quiero. But if they, like, genuinely mean it, like if they really love someone, they'll say te amo. So I thought that was really cool, the way that, like, our different cultures thought of the word love. Another example of, like, a difference between our cultures is, like, how here in America, and I don't know if they do this in other countries, I don't think they did it in the Dominican Republic, because Emmanuel seemed really surprised when I told him about this, is that Americans give, like, other names and other meanings to things. Like, we don't always call lip balm lip balm. We rarely call it lip balm. A lot of people just call lip balm chapstick, even if it's not chapstick brand. That's just what we've grown to call it. And same thing with, like, tissues, for example. Even if it's not, like, a Kleenex brand, people will call a tissue a Kleenex. So, and he seemed really surprised when I told him that. And I didn't know that other cultures or other countries didn't do that. So it was surprising. And I also, one huge thing I learned about was, if, like, Emmanuel chose to come over to America to study, then his country would only allow him to pick from, like, 5 or 7 majors or something like that. And I thought that was crazy, because here we can choose from so many different majors that we want to do. But his country would only allow him to come over to the United States, would only allow him to come over to the United States to study something that would benefit the Dominican Republic when he comes back. So he told me that he was going to change it once he came here. But I thought that was crazy. Like, we don't do that here, and I don't know if they do that in other countries. And it just got me to think, you know, what other cultures and other countries do or what they value. Because, I mean, if that's just one difference between Latin America and America, like, how many other differences are there between other cultures? And I guess I just learned that people are really unique and they value different things in different ways. And so I thought it was really interesting. So I definitely learned a lot about myself through this experience as well, because I really didn't know that he and I were that different. Like, because I'd eaten with him before, we'd had small discussions before, but after eating with him, I learned so much. I guess I learned that my culture, like, it's just so different compared to other cultures in different countries. Um and I also learned that because I don't know as much about other cultures, then I really definitely should learn to be more open-minded, especially when it comes to this, because, and meeting other people and becoming friends with other people, because people are really different and they have their own opinions, they have their own beliefs, they have their own practices and cultures, and it's really worth it to get to know somebody and discuss, like, your differences and your similarities. And I feel like that'd be a great way to make friends and to also become further educated, and especially in my field because I'm going to be a teacher. So I feel like learning about other cultures and getting to know other people would be a really great way to, expand my knowledge and my ability to work with and become friends with people of different cultures. So it was cool. So for implications in the classroom, I definitely learned that it would be worth it to teach my kids about different cultures, and not only different cultures, but being open-minded to other cultures and other people's beliefs and their opinions and their cultural practices, because the best way to make friends is being open-minded and being able to introduce yourself and being able to learn new things about other people, and in that way you'll be able to make more friends, and you'll not only will you learn to respect other people, but you'll also be more respecting yourself for being able to be so friendly and so accepting. So I feel like I would definitely teach my kids how to that it's important to do that. It's important to get to know other people. It's important to learn about other cultures. It's important to have a large variety in your friendships. And so I always thought that I always said that if you want to save the world, become a teacher, because I feel like if you teach your children, I feel like if you teach your students um about being able to interact with other people and being able to be open-minded when it comes to other people and other people's ways of life, then there would be a lot less hatred in the world, and there would be a lot less conflict, because people would be more accepting, they'd be more happy, they'd be happier, they'd be more loving, and it would be a lot easier for people to make friends. So I feel like that's really important in education today. So yeah. So that's it. So thanks for listening.